sucking child. Blow drying my hair. I said, curl, try to put some mousse on it. I'm about to get right into it. Alright, what up, Big Nique TV? Gang, gang, gang. So today, I got more reading the Liar book. And I get into it so we can finish these books and I can get into another book or maybe whatever I do next after I get these two books finished. Let's go. After I haven't been hold on y'all cause my voice is like trying to crack already. Alright y'all. After I haven't been entirely honest. I mean, I have been about the facts about Zach and the police. How often, how awful it was at school, at home, my family history, my illness, how I showed Zach foxes, how everyone suspects me, if not of killing Zach, then of something. I haven't made I haven't made myself out to be better than I am or worse, but I haven't been entirely honest about my side, about my insides, how it is in my head and my heart and my veins. Let me clean. Let me come clean. This is what this is what it felt like when the principal strode into the room to tell us that Zach was dead, sharp and cold and wrong, like the world had ended. I thought I knew what the principal was going to say. I thought I knew that Zach was dead. Zach had been missing since Saturday. If he'd been found alive, he would have texted me. The principal didn't drop in on classrooms, not unless something was seriously wrong. But I'd been praying that I was wrong, that Principal Paul was going to say something else, that Zach had been found and was coming back to school. He could he could have lost his cell phone. He could be in the hospital with a broken leg, but I mean hurt, but nothing serious. I sat there staring at the principal, thinking about everything Zach had ever said to me, that he needed me, that he depended on me, that the smell of me could keep him going all day. Or did I say that to him? Him being dead confuses things. I know he could. Oh shit! I know he told me that what what we had. I know he told me that what we had wasn't love. It was something stronger. Me and him weren't like him. Yeah, me and him weren't like him and Sarah, or him and anyone else, or any two people together ever. Zach said that then he went away. He didn't come back. I thought he would. I was sure he would. Even now, I'm waiting for him. I wore the mask to keep my face unmoving and unseen, to keep everything inside where it belonged. When the words were leaving Principal Paul's mouth in that moment, I wanted to leap at him, holding his mouth shut, or tear out his throat. Mm. Keep the words in, because maybe then Zach would be alive and I wouldn't be so alone before. One of the one of the true things I told the police was that Dangerous Words was the last class I had with Zach before he disappeared that weekend, before he was murdered. It's not nearly as good as bio, but it's the only other class I don't well, actively hate, partly because Lisa Aiden is a blusher, and partly because she's pretty smart, and sometimes it's kind of interesting hearing about what gets banned, how the meanings of words have changed, censorship, all that stuff. We need signed permission from our parents to take it, because in Dangerous Words we're allowed to use any dirty words we want, but none of us does. It doesn't feel like we really can. It feels like a trap. I mean, I'm reading the wrong words. My bad. It doesn't feel like we can. It feels like a trick. The only time we say dirty words in that room is when we're reading out loud. What the fuck is y'all reading in class? What? Art. I never been in no high school that had a class called Dangerous Words. I don't know. But okay, that's in white people schools. Okay, good. And I've been in no school that had a class called Dangerous Words. But okay. Okay, some of the assigned books shit. Some of the assigned books have them, but it feels awkward and forced, and we stumble over the same words that outside the classroom flow from out flow from our mouths, easy as lies. My damn head hurt. Alright, y'all leave and don't fucking say nothing. You just watch it. Alright. Could have said hi. You could have left a like. Anyway, like my head hurt. I ain't got time for people who keep leaving this shit. Leave a like if you're enjoying this. My fucking head hurt. Okay. I ain't got time for nonsense on any day. Hey, if you're a real supporter, leave that like. Okay, if you ain't a supporter, then deuces. Simple as most of our mouths. I've never heard Sarah swear. No one said any of the words we supposedly allowed to say. Not until the teacher Lisa Aiden invited a guest the Friday before Zach was killed, a writer, a foreign writer from England or something. I wasn't paying attention when he was introduced or when he started talking. I didn't listen to a thing until he picked up a piece of chalk and wrote all the worst words on the board one by one. Then everyone was paying attention to the chalk in his hands and the words he made. He wrote each word up on the board. Then he said, as if it weren't any different from saying yes or no or pie or sky. After each word, he wrote a date, really old date. Every single word was hundreds of years old, from the 1300s or 1400s or 1500s. I tried to imagine people in the olden days saying them, but I couldn't. These dates, of course, he said, refer to the easy, refer to the earliest, hmm, refer to the earliest written records, but it's really likely is but it's very likely the words themselves are much older, much, they weren't they were not written down. This is often true, or this is often true of taboo words until very recently written language has tended to be more formal than spoken. He stopped and looked at us like we were supposed to say something. I noticed Lisa Aiden had changed color, even whiter than usual, except for her cheeks, where all the blood in her body seemed to have gathered. Of course, some of these words weren't always taboo, and the way we use them now is not necessarily the same as how they were originally used. Words change. I'm sure your teacher has mentioned how the word girl originally meant a child of either sex. She had it. What the heck? This is my favorite. He tapped the worst word on the board and underlined it. The red in Lisa's cheeks spread. Here in America is probably the worst shocking, but back home where I come from, there's little force behind it. In fact, it usually gets used as what is a synonym for laid laid or block. I don't know. What's a block? Blocky? Oh, fucking such. I mean, Zach eggs. His voice buzzed. A guy, a fella, a so you gonna say those guys over there, Zach Eggs? I look at him. Um, the writer nodded. Lisa Aiden was staring. Was starting to sweat. Sorry. I could smell it on her. What if you're, what if they're your friends? Zach wanted to know. Or you wouldn't, or, hold up, or you weren't mad at them. Wouldn't matter, the writer said, and I wondered what kind of books he wrote. Probably not travel, not probably not travel guides. My dad never even said shit, let alone write it. Wrote it. Okay, angry has nothing to do with it. Friends, enemies, acquaintances. They're all Lisa Aiden said, then what fluttered? What about girls, women? Kayla wanted to know, just men. If you say it, what? If you say, yeah, if you say it of a woman, it means the same thing it means here, so you don't, unless you're really angry. Zach, ugh, yeah. Zach looked fascinated. So, so that word doesn't mean the same thing here that it does where you from. Aaron Lane asks, that's right. Like the way English people don't use what erasers. Uh, what's his name? Aaron. Aaron Lane asks, or say lift instead of elevator, or flat for apartment. The writer nodded. Can you tell us um, a little about how you come to write a book about taboo words? Lisa Aiden asked. The writer laughed. Well, you could say it was a lifelong interest. Half the class laughed too. This is my first book about language. Before that, I mostly wrote true crime, which grew out of covering the crime beat in Glasgow. Glasgow. Gal- I don't know. The kind of people I wrote about were not what clergymen, you know, even not even close, rough as guts. More like I got interested in the words they use so often and so colorful. Then I started looking stuff up, and knew it before I knew it, I was writing a book about so-called bad language. So what's the worst word? What's the worst swear? What's the worst swear word where you from? Where you come from, Zach X? You know, that's a hard question to answer. The more research I've done on this, the more it seemed to be that is the force behind it. I think people get too caught up in whether a word is or isn't offensive and lose sight of what's actually being said. I mean, it is more offensive for someone to advocate the killing of herbs or the killing of fucking herbs. Either either way, that's that's racism, pure and simple. That was a moment of that was a moment of quiet. There was a moment of quiet. Do your book ever get banned? Layla wanted to know. Not not that I know of. I don't think books about language or true crime attract attract the book the book banners. Sorry, not sure why. Isn't it mostly books for teenagers and children that get banned? Like that one about the two boy penguin who 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 fall in love. The class laughed again. I wondered if that was a real book or if he was making it up. What do you think? Lisa interjected, addressing the class. What is it about writing for teenagers that leads to so much censorship? I know I knew the answer to that one, but I didn't raise my hand. It's because grown ups don't remember what it was like when they were teenagers. Not really. They remember something out of a Disney movie, and that's where they went. That's when they, ugh, and that's where they want to keep us. They don't they don't like the idea of our hormones or that we can smell sex on one another. That that we walk down halls thick with a million different what pheromones. We see each other, catch a glimpse. What the faintest edge of one that sends a shiver through our bodies all the way to the parts of us our parents wish didn't exist, like the glance of me and Zach exchanged just now. I mean, just then. I shift in my seat, all all nerve endings buzzing, making me itch, have making me have to run far and fast and wide with Zach beside me, matching me matching me stride for stride. Why you didn't say matching mine? Okay. They fucking me up because these words, the way they sentence. Okay, the way that they sentence, it's not me. It's not me. They fucking me up. Okay. Not long after the class ended, that's what we did. Ran and ran and ran. But after that night, I never saw him again. Family history. When mom and dad told me I was going to have a baby sister or brother, I wasn't upset. I wasn't happy either. I didn't really think about it much. To be honest, I had other problems dealing with doctor school. I was 7 years old and covered in hair. There were lots and lots of doctors. I was pulled in and out of different schools, each one worse than the one before. When the meditation wasn't working, I wore pants and long sleeve shirts. We tried waxing, what? Electro, electrosis? I don't know. Laser. The hair always came back within a day or two. Sometimes I had to wear scarves and gloves as well, even when it was 90 degrees. Oh my god. The other kids thought I was weirdo. I was, yeah, thought I was religious or covered with a dreaded skin disease. They weren't far off. They didn't want to go near me. Oh, phone and shit. Let's see y'all right now. Yeah, do it right there. Do it right there. Okay, right there. Okay. The growing bump in my mother's stomach wasn't much on my radar. I was I was shocked with when Jordan was born. Us racing to the hospital, Dad yelling at the taxi driver. Then hours and hours waiting with Mom's friend Lisa. I mean Liz. Sorry, who insisted that she hold my hand before I was finally led into my led in to see my dad tired and sweaty and beaming, and mom even tighter, holding a tiny blue bundle. Hello, my darling, mom said. You must meet with your brother. I looked up at Liz, who smiled at me. Dad nodded. Check him out, Makai. Your brother Jordan. I do have to. Do I have to? Mom laughed, a tiny laugh. She looked ready to sleep for a month. Liz gave me a little push and I took a step closer to the bed. I took the long I took another step and put my hands on the edge of it, standing on tiptoe, standing on tiptoe to peer at the baby. It was hate at first sight. Oh my god. Jordan was grayish blue and uglier than oh my god, and uglier than sin. Oh my god. His hair pointed in all the wrong directions, but at least it was only one his head. No family illness for this Wilkins child. His eyes were puffy, little slight what little lit little slit. Why is he why is he that weird color? I asked. Dad reached down and took the bundle from mom. You want to hold him, Kai? I shook my head. You won't drop him. See, he said, demonstrating it's easy. You won't. You want. You make sure you have one hand under his head and the other under his body. Isn't he small? Isn't he tiny? Ah, Dad passed the bundle into my arms. I got a whiff of something not right that made the hair on my head, on my arms, stand on end. What the heck? Not poop or anything like that. A wrongness. The blue baby didn't smell right. God, I held him, making sure my hands were where Dad said. Though now I wish I dropped him. Oh my God. He opened his little beady eyes to look at me. I don't like you. I could almost hear him thinking I didn't like him either. Oh my God. Right. Right away, he started screaming. It's been like that ever since. After the funeral goes on forever, I'm uncomfortable and yeah, irritable, and not just because it's so hot. Nothing anyone says about Zach bears much resemblance to the Zach I knew. Everyone is lying. Everyone is creating an ideal Zach with their words, a Zach in their own a Zach in their own image. It's a Catholic church. I've never glass window back, not sure where to sit. I watch people failing in. Most of them, most of them people I've never seen before. Do they know who Zach is? Was there's organ? Yeah, there's organ music, heavy and what somber, like an old horror movie. It hurts my head. There's incense too, as heavy and dense as the music. It doesn't do much for my head either. His parents walk by. They're they've shrunk, fallen in on themselves. Grief makes gravity even stronger. The blank. His older brother's face is blank. Looking at them, looking at them makes my eyes sting. They sit at the front near the flowers and the coffin. I've been trying not to look at it, but there it is, dark wood with golden handles. The shape and size are wrong. It shouldn't seem long enough. Zach was tall. Almost all the seniors walked past, teachers too, and guys wear suits, the girls black dresses. They don't look like themselves. I'm in the same black dress, disguise. The ones who notice me look away, disgusted. Only Yaiko and Sarah say hi. I lost track of Yaiko. Sarah sits down in front with Zach's family. Detectives Stan and Rodriguez walk past me for a moment. I am afraid that they will arrest me. They don't nod. I'm not sure they see me. The church is approaching full. While there's still somewhere to sit, I slide onto the edge of a pew, pew, 2 rows from the back. I don't recognize any one of the people near me. That's a good thing. None of them will whisper and point. The dress I'm wearing itches. I wonder why I'm here. Zach knew I liked him. It doesn't matter what any of these other people think of me or of me and him. I wonder what Zach would think, but Zach doesn't, not anymore. He's going into the ground for or into the flames. I'm not sure which. I try to remember the last time we saw each other once again. I tried to pull together very detailed. I mean, I tried to pull together every detail. What he looked like, what he wore. I don't really remember. The details are blurring. It hasn't been that long, and already I'm forgetting things. The preacher drones a welcome and starts talking about Zach as if he knew him, but I can tell from what he's saying that he didn't. It's easy to block the preacher out. An older man stands up a few rows in front of me and moves up to the podium. Scoot over. I look up. Tayshawn, wearing a suit. I almost laugh, even though he's he looks good. I've never seen Tayshawn in jeans before, let alone jacket and tie. He's always wearing a tracksuit or shorts and jersey. All I mean, transition into playing ball at a second's notice. He's not nearly a good. He's not nearly as good as Zach, but he loves the game way more. There isn't a lot of in space. I turn to my neighbor, a fat old white lady in a black cotton dress. I wonder how she knew Zach. She glares at me but turns to her neighbor and they make more wooden pew emerge. Tayshawn, yeah, Tayshawn squeezes himself onto the last few inches, trying not to press into me as I try not to touch my neighbor. I hate funerals, he whispers to me. I nod, though it's my first one. They can't all be like this. Some of us going to hang out after drinking stuff at Will's place. You want to come? I don't drink. One of the many things doctors have forbidden me, but I don't tell him that. I'm not sure, I whisper back. The woman beside me shifts her body in, and I and I disapprove of you whispering at a funeral way. Here, not at Will's place. Sean looks at me. I can see him thinking about lying, then deciding not to. I guess not, he says. He smiles at me, so you know. I don't believe any of that shit about you. Thanks. I say, I mean it. Hush, the lady next to me hissed. A young boy died. I almost tell her that I had a name, and if she actually knew him, she wouldn't be calling him a young boy. I want to tell her that Zach was my what what now comes after my running partner, friend, best friend. Not that, not no, that Station's boyfriend belongs to Sarah. You want to go? Tayshawn asks. I really hate these things. I look at him, at the cranky. I look at him, at the cranky lady next to me, at the old guy leaning into the podium talking about Zach's unfulfilled potential. His brilliance on the court must be his coach, I guess. Sure, I say, better to be anywhere than here. After Sarah is sitting on the church steps, she should not look at she sh- damn. She does not look all right, but Tayshawn asks her if she is anyway. No, she says, looking up at us. But I'm not going to be sick if that's what you mean. It was too much in there. She's also wearing a black dress. It makes her look older. Mine is Mine is my mom's. I wonder if hers is too. Her eye makeup is smeared from crying. Deshaun shifts his weight from one leg to the other and back again. I collapse my hands and stretch my arms out behind my back. You where you two where you two going? Sarah asks. Dunno. Tayshawn says, away. I don't like funerals. Who does I can't go back in there. Tayshawn nods. I bite my lip. Wonder what to say. Can I come with you guys? She asks. Sure, Tayshawn says. We wasn't going to do anything much. He shrugs. The plan was getting out of there. I haven't thought beyond that. I think about the times Zach and me walked the whole length of the island. We started down at the Battery Park and um and warned what and wound up here in well, not this here. Yeah, well, not this here, this church, but further on Broadway at the bridge to the Bronx. Mackay, Sarah X. Yeah. Do you mind? You don't mind if I come along? No, I say, realizing that I don't. She knew Zach better than I ever did. Tayshawn has been best friends with Zach since the third grade. They are the two people who knew him best. They are who I wanted to be with. Sure, I say, we could walk. Tayshawn says, down to the park. Sarah nods, standing up slowly. She has a tiny black, sparkly, sparkly purse looped over her shoulder. You live around here too, don't you? Yeah, Tayshawn says. This is the neighborhood. Me and Zach, we used to, you know. For a moment, the weight of Zach's death is too much. I feel my throat and chest tightening. I could show you, I guess. Sarah blinks back, more tears. Please, she says. Family history. One time me and Dad was blue. He told me that his father wasn't French after all. Mom was with the brat at soccer, and Dad was sitting at the kitchen table trying to work. When his writing didn't go well, he got sad. I'd gone into the kitchen to get some juice. I was thinking about going for a run. Dad looked up, and I knew immediately he was going to unload. I went all the way to Marcelli, and he told me without any word of greeting, I was trying to find him. I knocked on the door of every black family in the city, way, which is way more than you'd think. Okay, I thought. He's talking about his dad. I, I wondered how he knew he'd knock on all their doors. My mother lied to me, he said. Again, I leaned against the sink. Maybe he moved. Hi. Dad looked at me like I was being crazy. I found a letter upstate. It was in English, not French, American English, addressed to my darling Hope. Your grandmother's name is Hope. He told me unnecessarily. The letter was asking after their child after me. It was all about how much my dad missed my mom, how much she wanted to hold the baby, to hold me. Dad's eyes are welling. It was signed all years away, always, all years, always. Okay. There was no other name unless my dad's name was always or years, always. There's no way a Frenchman wrote it. Oh, I said. I waved the letter in Mom's face. You know what she did? He was looking at me. I shook my head. He told me not to be so what melodramatic. Melodramatic. All right, cool. She told me to act my age. I was 22. I was acting my age. Did Grandma say why she lied to you? She said you had a good time in France, didn't you, Isaiah? Found yourself a good wife. She wouldn't tell me who my father is. She said I didn't even, she said I didn't need to know. That isn't better to keep that past muddy. I mean, that
Isn't better to keep that past muddy. That's that's her all yeah, that's her all over, isn't it? I don't think my past could be muddier. I still haven't gotten anything out of her. Uh, he's she's back to acting like my dad was French so I do the same. Push the truth out of the way. Go on acting like the lie is true. Don't tell your mom. She doesn't know. He grinned, gave me a wide open smile that made his eyes crinkle. Dad's teeth were shiny white, just another family secret to add to the pile. This one's between you and me, like Hitler, right? I said. Dad opened up his laptop. I got myself a glass of orange juice.
I got myself a glass of orange juice. The end of our father-daughter bonding. It is it any surprise that I turned out the way I did with so many family lies. I'm at least a third generation liar, though I bet it goes back earlier. If I could get grandmother or great aunt Dorothy to talk about it, I wouldn't bother asking Hillard. I don't think I've ever heard him say a whole sentence. I wonder if there is a lie. I wonder if there is lying gene, a lying gene. If so, it runs strong in my family, which makes me wonder about Dad's story. Was there a letter? Is anything he said true? The only story I've ever had out of the Greece is the one about the French sailor. Maybe Dad lied to me about the letter. Maybe he lied about having gone to France. No, that has to be true because my mother really is French. Marseille is where they met. Sometimes I sometimes I think she's the only part of the story that's true. I stick to the French sailor story because I've heard it so many times before, because Dad only told me about the letter once. I have no idea which version is true. Maybe neither is. Keep the past muddy. Yeah, keep the past muddy. I believe my grandmother would say that it was something were the whole family it was something the whole family lived by. Dad too, whether he admitted it or not. It leaves me feeling what and what in short shirt. I don't know what we are. How do you pronounce this word? UNANCHORED. How do you pronounce that word? All right, telling you the truth is my attempt to my attempt to feel I think I know y'all. It leaves me feeling unanchored. Telling you the telling you the truth is my attempt to anchor myself. It's all I've got. All right, y'all. Let me get some water real quick. Thirsty, thirsty. Let's see. Before the next time I saw the white boy was in Central Park. Me and Zach were running lockstep, not talking, just breathing. My thoughts weren't anywhere but in the feel of my feet hitting the ground, my elbows at my side, the breath in and out, side beside me, feet to ground in unison, breathe in and out at the same time. The boy came from the other direction, running towards us in jeans and a t-shirt and beat up pair of boots. Not regular, running in Central Park clothes, and so skinny the clothes flopped around. The clothes flopped around him. What in engulfied, engulfied, engulfed, engulfed. Oh, engulfed, engulfed him. Slowed, slowed him down, almost tripping him. Oh God. He was still fast though, even with his elbows askew and his heels hitting the ground. Zach nudged me, but I'd already seen, already already recognized. The boy was looking at me too. I didn't have words for the expression, intense, almost like he hated me. Then he passed. Then he passed. He. Then he was past us. I mean, then he. Yeah. Then he was past us. Okay, I get it now. Okay, cause they sensing crazy. Ha! Zach said, freak. I didn't say anything. I couldn't help thinking that Zach thought the same of me or used to. I imagined him in school watching me walk past, then turning to Tayshawn to spit out the word freak. I had more in common with that boy than I did with Zach. Running with running with his he not I said, what was I about to say? He not running with his high knee lift and elbows tucked tight as tucked tight at 90 degrees. No one ever called Zach a freak after. This is how it feels now. Blankness. What up? Blankness. Numbness. Nothing. Without Zach, I'm nothing. I'm not even half of anything. Not even the not even the in between I was before. Not girl, not boy, not black, not white. It's all gone. I'm gone. Damn, that, that, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh. After Z Tayshawn shows us the court where he and Zach first played ball together. The court where they first dunked. The spot in the park where they first got drunk together. He shares a whole series of firsts. It feels as if Tayshawn's telling us that Zach was his, that we could never know him the way he did. I don't care. I know he belongs to them more than he did to me. Sarah's been with him on and off since freshman year, and Tayshawn and Zach go back to the third grade. I shouldn't be here. He takes us to a little cave deep in Inwood. Their first their firsts here were playing truth or dare with neighborhood girls and smoking pot. It's dank and musty. My nose wrinkles. There there are lots of cigarette butts, empty beer bottles. Classy, Sarah says. Tayshawn laughs. You're probably the only one of his girls he never took here. Sarah snuffs. I mean, stuck. What? Sarah stiffens. I don't. I'm not even offended that Tayshawn clearly doesn't think of me as one of Zach's girls. He sits down a little bit in from the cave's mouth where it's still light enough that we can see each other, but not so far forward that but not so far forward that people walking by on the path below would know we're there. Sarah crouches next to him, unwilling to get her dress dirty. She clutches her purse. I sit a I sit cross-legged on Tayshawn's other side, letting the skirt of mom's dress pull in my lap. I'm honored, Sarah says. Clearly, he only bought his trashy girls here. You should be. He never showed me his place, I say, though we'd run past it. Sarah looks at me quickly and then away, and I regret saying it, asserting that I was one of his girls too. I don't know either. I don't know either one of them. Not really. I'm only here because I miss Zach. You and him. Tayshawn begins staring at me. Sarah nods. How'd you two? Neither of them can say what they want to say. The frame of their question is broken. It just happened, I say. I've been asked this question so often But finally, I want to answer. I guess we were both in the park, Central Park. I mean, not here. We said, hey, how you doing? He'd seen, we'd seen each other in class, never spoken though. So we got talking. Turned out we both loved running, so we started running together. You really ran together? Sarah asked. You're not lying. I never saw you run. I'm not lying. I like running. We ran together. It wasn't the same as you and him, Sarah. Honest. He wasn't my boyfriend. What was he then? She asked. For you. Tayshawn nod. Tayshawn holds his hand. None of our business, right? I'm not sure. I say. I guess it is your business, isn't it? You were his best friend. You were his girlfriend. The two people who knew him best. I don't think I knew him that well, Sarah says. I didn't know about you, Tayshawn says. But I thought something was up. Been a few months. He wasn't hanging around as much. I noticed. Him about asked him about it, but he was all, what do you mean? Nothing going on. Made him think there was. Now I know. I didn't even suspect. Sarah says, I had not clue one. What? They sound, oh my God. We mostly ran. I uncrossed my legs, pulled the dress over my knees, and hugged them, resting my chin. I haven't talked about this with anyone but the cops, but you didn't only run, Sarah says. Zach's fast. How'd you keep up? I'm fast too, I say, revealed at relieved at Tayshawn's interruption. He looks skeptical. So does Sarah. We ran in the park. Sometimes we'd run up there all the way from school. What else you'd do? I don't know, Sarah asked. Me and Zach, we talked about stuff, hung out with friends, went to movies, stuff like that. Her eyes fill with water, but she doesn't start crying. I know how she feels. This talk of Zach is making the rawness inside me swell. That all. Tayshawn asks, cause talking and going to the movies, that is not the main thing I do with my girl. I wonder who his girl is. She's not anyone at school. You want all the details, pervert? Sarah laughs. Sure, we made out. He was my boyfriend. He tell you about that stuff. Deshaun smiles, but he's not saying anything. He didn't he? Shit. And everyone says girls are blabbermouths. He never said a word about Makai. Deshaun is having fun. He winks at me. Great.
Sarah says he keeps her sex life private, not mine. I don't say anything for the moment, but then I think, why not? We're all being honest, aren't we? He was too ashamed. Why would he tell anyone about me? You saw what everyone else when I mean you saw what everyone else said what everyone said when they found out. First they didn't believe it, then they act like they felt sick right away. Sarah said, I heard it and I knew. Really, I asked. Thought you said I was too ugly for him. I'm like an ugly boy, you said. Harsh, Tayshawn says. Okay. Let me read this last page to y'all. I was mad, Sarah says. I'm still mad. She's not looking at me. It's what everyone was thinking, I say. Is thinking not me, Tayshawn said. I don't think you're ugly. I mean, you're not beautiful or anything, but ugly, no. That's thanks, I say, smiling. It feels strange on my face. The muscles almost don't know what to do. Sarah and Tayshawn laugh. It's not me not being pretty. I know that. It's what a freak I am. I mean, look at me. Look at you. You wear makeup and walk and talk right. Anything I say, people stare. You got your hair all pretty and relaxed and long. I'm chopped short. I wish I could do that. Sarah says, but I know she's lying. She's proud of her hair. You got any idea how long this takes? I do. I can't imagine spending that many hours every morning combing my hair out, but I like the way it looks on her just as much as she does. Loose curls that tumble to halfway down her back. What do you think? So little. All right, y'all. I'm gonna stop right there. So you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with anybody. Let them know what your girl is doing on this channel. Make sure you leave comments, appropriate comments. You better hit that like. Make sure you tell a friend of that friend of that friend and then that friend. Come, come join the big Nique gang, 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 gang. And I'm out, babies.